Hi, this is Elizabeth Clare Brewington,
And Elton Brewington.
and we're with Discover Brightside, the video podcast. And today we are doing our Empower Leaders series, and we have Jonathan from Germany, our first German guest. So, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I'm just gonna jump in just where Heather left us off. She had some great points. One of the first things that you're gonna see through all that I'm gonna say now is the cumulative impact that small things might have. Um, and also sticking with something and learning along the way without thinking I should be at the end of the way right now, but growing through it. So I'm going to take you to a problem that I had about like 6, 7 years ago. Oh no, that's not good numbers to say right now. I know for all of you who have kids, but basically I was thinking about dropping out of uni for the third time. Um, Studied maths, and I knew I kind of wanted to be a freelancer. And one of my main hobbies at the time was photography. So I thought this could be my way into like entrepreneurship. And so I took loads of pictures and I met some people who did it full time. They said it's possible to do this. You just have to have some determination and you need to learn a lot of things to get into this. So I started my way into this very oversaturated market called the wedding industry. And also, on the other hand, started helping some local businesses with their marketing. And I'm going to take you through some of the stuff that I did for my wedding business, which hopefully helps other businesses or leaders find their way into their space. So, an idea that I had was I have a qualification, I can do some video, some nice video, and I have couples that are looking to plan their wedding. So, how can I use my talents or the data that I have, the knowledge that I have about wedding venues to help couples achieve what they're aiming for? So I thought I could make some videos about local wedding venues, showcasing off the venue to couples. And this had I thought this might have two different things that it could help me as a business owner. Number one, I would connect with venues, maybe get some collaborations going, and they would know me even though I'm like the new face around. And the other thing that I thought this might help couples decide on which venues to actually like go and look at in person, in like an easy way. Just jump onto YouTube, find the video, watch the video, and then go to the venue. This kind of worked in the beginning. A video got like 100 views a year, but they were very targeted. So it's better than just like an ad where 100 views are nothing for ads. So I would get like 1 to 2 weddings each year from each of the videos. And I was living in a smaller area with only like 5 real, really good venues. And this meant I would get 5 to 10 increase just from those videos. But they weren't really great, and the reach wasn't what I expected it to be. There was no collaborations coming from it. So when I moved cities 3 years ago, I thought I could keep doing this and start moving into the different area with this concept because I was still feeling like this concept could work. And at the time, because I had to drive far to go to the venues to film the videos, I realized, wait, maybe my client isn't the local couple that's getting married in the local venue because they can just go there in 10 minutes and take a look themselves. Maybe my client is someone who's from a city far away that wants to get married in that area. No one's catering those people. So if I made those videos more accessible to those people, then maybe that would get me more clients. And it ended up being kind of true. Those videos, I worked with better venues. I did more videos. They worked a little bit better. They got like 200 to 500 views a year. But what really made the difference was I always thought my couples, they Google the venue, they might be on Pinterest, they're probably on Instagram, right? Someone said, why don't you try TikTok? I was like, I tried TikTok. I did some stuff on TikTok. People on TikTok are too young. But it was January last year when I just thought, well, I have these 25 venues that I made videos about. Might as well just take the videos, repost them on TikTok. They got hundreds of thousands of views each. I reached 1.5 million people last year just with the repurposed videos of something that I already made, where over years I was developing and making the videos better. Each video, the first one, I couldn't get a word out. I would stand in front of the camera, I would take 15 takes to say half a sentence. It wouldn't come out right. In the end, I'm not sure if it's still online. It was horrible. I couldn't talk. The newest videos, sometimes I only take like 2 to 4 takes each time to get the sentence out that I want to be out. And also, they're way more structured. So they are reliably getting views. And nowadays, people, I'm on the phone to them, being like, oh, yeah, you've been recommended by some other vendor. And I thought I've seen you somewhere. And I was like, okay. And then, like, I think like 2 years ago, maybe I saw your videos on TikTok. And I was like, okay. And that's where the cumulative aspect comes in because people get so many touch points with me nowadays of different things that I did in the past that were really focused on helping my ideal client, not someone else's client, just the one client that I want to work with. I really try to figure out who it is. Most of them live in Berlin, live in Munich, live in other places that are not close to me, but they all want to get married in the wine region, which is like an hour from me. And I made the videos there, and they saw the videos either on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, doesn't matter. I just put them all out there, even though I don't really have a presence on X. I think I have like 2 followers on X. Some people might have seen it on X. So, yeah, just if you have a good idea and it still feels like a good idea after you did it 25 times, even though it didn't work, maybe the 26th time might make it a hub where people think, oh, all this information really gives me an edge. So I'm going to choose which wedding venue I'll go to just from this YouTube account. And yeah,
Okay.
this is the story, I guess. I hope this helped someone.
Thank you so much, Jonathan.
That's a great
profound.
story because, we're always trying to get more views. And Heather has a story about her hair that got all the views. So this is actually really good because we are trying to promote how to start your own podcasting. And so Heather, share your hair story and connect with Jonathan.
Before you do that, Heather, I want to share this, and Jonathan, you tipped it off. Last year with learning experiences. There's something that we qualified and quantified that has and is moving us forward. And if each one of you will identify that, and then what are you headed toward now as a future prescription for your growth and success? I want to go around the room and collect that from each of you, but I just want to pinpoint that with you, Jonathan. That was profound. You learned something, and now you're taking that with you to go forward with, and you're expecting great detail and great benefit for
That's
and
an
from.
amazing story.
Hmm.
Yeah, over to you, Heather.
Hmm.
I so love every element of that because one of the things that I didn't verbalize was that knowledge is transferable. And I think, just like you said, you're doing all the different things, but sometimes we think so linearly and you miss all the opportunity. One of the things, so like in this book I have what's called a four pillar system. And one of the pillars that I live by is don't let your destination become your limitation because you're so focused on, I need to get to this place. And in your mind, you need to go in this straight line. But life is anything but a straight line. As I'm listening to your story with all the detours, but yeah, it's like only when you take the step, that's when you see. And all the junky early videos and talking about junky early videos. So I had transitioned. I used to have long processed hair. Hold on a second. If I could show you my author picture here. So that's what I used to look like. I thought I was pretty fabulous anyway.
You
So,
still
but
you are
then
fabulous.
thank you. But then COVID came along. Hair salons are closed. I can't go and do the relaxer, the whole thing. And this is a very candid but honest story. And so I asked my husband to help me. And he has never set foot in a black hair salon in his life. So let's just create complete perspective around that. And when he saw what I was putting into my hair, he absolutely lost it. And it was that moment where when all the things you're doing something that's normal to you because everyone else is doing it. It's what you're taught. You don't think that anybody is teaching you anything to harm you. They're just sharing what it is that they know. And if anybody knows anything about hair salons, that's a very communal experience. It's like a safe space. You're going there and everybody's doing, and no one is necessarily thinking that this process may have negative impacts. And unfortunately, which I shared very openly in this book, I had all the health effects and all the scars, honestly, to prove it. But I digress. So, as I'm trying to figure out how to deal with natural hair, and I had not seen my natural hair in like 30 years, I have no idea. I'm trying all these different brands, and I find a product, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I do it, and the curls are coiling, and everything is perfect. Let me, yes. So, a girlfriend of mine from Grenada, I know like all of us live in New York. I live primarily in New York City. My studio is actually in Miami, which is where I am right now. So she lives in New York, and I was like, you really should. She had gone natural years before me. Her hair was super long. And I'm like, you really should wear your hair out more. And she's like, well, Heather, I would if I got the definition that you have. I was like, well, come over and let me show you what I did. Like we're 16 years old again and not women in our late 40s. And so she comes over. I decide to just shoot a quick TikTok. What do I know about TikTok, Jonathan? Probably as much as you did too. I'm like, I'm just doing this stuff, right? The little thing. And I share, so I do it. I'm like, and I love to teach people. Let me just show you guys what it is, and I'll do this, and I tag the company. That is how I got my very first contract as a content creator. And I spent 5 years chasing light around my apartment, just creating content for different brands. So it started there. And then, so like I remember like when I renovated the apartment, and in the bathroom area, I needed to put in a shelf because now I'm making money in the bathroom. Like I needed to think about product
That's a
positioning.
good one,
And
making money in
so
the bathroom.
the contractor's like, that shelf is too high. I was like, it might be too high for you because he's thinking about laying in the tub. And so you're supposed to be able to just reach as you're. I was like, honey, I'm not laying in anything. I'm standing here shooting content. I need people to see the product. He's like, okay. So like everybody, God help when the time comes that I sell these apartments, they'll either all have to be content creators or just content to getting up from the tub to reach the shelf because it's not for any practical human being unless you have a really long arm span. So yeah, that is my, but yeah, it's a randomness of things. And I was like you, so uncomfortable. A 5 minute video would take me like 5 hours. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then you're just like, I got to that point, chick, progress over perfection. And especially now, I think it's so important to mention that in the age of AI, where everything is so polished and perfect, and people are now questioning what is real. All of a sudden, they are trying to add flaws to these AI avatars to make them look more human. And I'm like, you know what? This is the time for all of us who think we're struggling with content to just be who we are. Because they'll be like, all right, okay, there's no way this sucked too much for it to be AI. But they would realize that there's a real person. And that's how you make that real connection. Because at the end of the day, it's about emotional intelligence. But I'm not going to go far afield. I'm done because you asked me about hair. That's it.
You know, it's so funny. This morning I was listening to Bishop Jakes, and
Mhm.
in his talk, he was talking about how God throws you into circumstances
Jeez.
and you're in unfamiliar ground, and things
Right.
that you were used to, like even
Hmm.
when I was growing up, hair was a big deal. I'd go to the salon and have my hair
Hmm.
straight, and I didn't like curly hair, even though I was born with curly hair. And I would never show up unless my hair was done. And then now I'm a YouTuber, and I'm like just at home, and I don't care anymore about that special look and all those products that you put in your hair. And so you're right. You're thrown into an environment where you're doing different things, and people love you for the way you look, just the way you
You
are
are.
on
Yeah.
YouTube. And I know AI is taking over with all these clean looks, but we still, the natural is what everybody wants to watch. They want to see you in your realm, and
Hmm.
you get the most views when you look the worst. So it's true. So I totally, Jonathan, you have really got us going on this
Sure.
conversation. So what about you, Dr. Pinkins and Linda? Any hair stories? Any stories you want to
Well,
share?
remembering
Yeah.
now, we're culminating on yesterday, moving forward to tomorrow,
Okay.
based on using what you've learned to empower. And this is compelling, because we're
Yes.
talking about tomorrow, and you're gonna be surprised. This is gonna blow up. One day you're gonna wake up and it's just boom.
Yep.
You're all over the internet, all over
Yep.
podcasts, all over the world,
Yep.
and you want to be the one that says this is what's going to happen.
And actually, in the Golden Globes yesterday, I don't know if you watched it, but they had a podcast category now in the Golden Globes where they're actually honoring podcasters. And there was a commercial that they did where the woman is in her car whispering because, like, that's the only place she can talk to on YouTube or on Zoom because it's quiet, and that really represents the podcast community, the bathroom or a room that you can find that you can video. So, Dr. Pinkins and Linda, keeping in mind with Elton, yesterday, today, and any stories?
Well, I just want to say this. Life is a journey, but it's also a learning experience. And the thing about it, if we can learn from those experiences that we have, and God will use those for us to be able to serve others and to help others. And I'll give you one example with me. For 40 years, I carried some trauma pain inside. I didn't tell anybody about it. It was related to childhood domestic violence. And anyway, long story short is that I carried that pain for 40 years, and God supernaturally placed me in a place where somebody, through the power of prayer, broke that thing, and I was able to talk about it and able to heal, to get free of it. It was almost like all the pain and suffering that was housed in my inner being was sucked out. And I mean, I was looking good on the outside and being successful and a captain in the Air Force, first African American female on Titan II missile crew, and so on and so forth. But I was bound inside, so I couldn't be all that I was designed to be. So that's one of my passions now going forward is helping people not to just look good on the outside, but to be free inside and true freedom, and then to be able to, as you were saying, Heather, get connected to your purpose. We have greatness inside of us. We have deposits and gifts, talents, and abilities inside of us that need to come forth. And so that's one of the things that's one of the reasons why now there's a pivot to in my business and coaching. It's called heavenly wellness. And that's not only just in your body, but also in your mind, in your emotions, and in your spirit, because the real you is the inner being that's inside. And when those are in harmony and synergizing, that's where you're going to be your most effective. But all the different things you have experienced, those can be used, whatever you're called and whatever you're in your purpose. Nothing will go wasted. And my tagline is divine repositioning for well-being. And so that's what I'm looking at going forward. When you're multi-talented, as God has blessed me, it's hard to get clarity and zero in. But it's taken me a little longer. I'm a little older, but at least I'm still here. And, after going through 13 weeks in the VA hospital, being diagnosed with stage 4 stomach cancer, coming through that, dying multiple times, I'm still here. So I'm still looking at being a blessing, helping others, empowering others, and going forward. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you for your service. Congratulations also for being one of our winners. And that comes to you, Linda. And I did find your certificate. So say what you have to say, and then I will present you the award. Yes.
I have enjoyed everyone, and we do learn from our experiences. That's our best teacher, one of the best teachers. And there's a scripture that says, "Don't despise small beginnings." And I know both of you said something about starting small, those small things that we might overlook sometime and say, no, that might not work. Sometimes that's the main thing. So I just want to push forward in 2026 and do all that God has called me to do and just bring some light to someone's life. That's what I
All
wanted to.
right, Anson.
That's amazing. Profoundly as that were, wow, the power of our unity together today is understanding our strengths. And also, we're going to use this as a springboard to jump into tomorrow with full strength, with a scope of faith and a power that lets you know you can do incredible things. Now, I've done this a few times, and I'm going to do it this time, and it's quite spiritual actually. And what we're going to do, and it's, oh man, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. I love doing this. But what we're going to do is I want you to, for the next 60 seconds, I want you to just burst into this incredible state of laughter. Just laugh for 60 seconds. Just laugh. Just laugh. Just laugh. It's transformational.
Take that stress out. Just completely take
it
that
out,
stress
shake it
out.
out.
Just forget about it. Yeah. Leave it in 2025. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay. That was refreshing. That was refreshing.
Yes.
There's
Laughter
nothing
is
like
good
laughter,
medicine.
There's nothing like laughter, and we have to laugh more.
We do.
Laugh more. You have to learn also how to laugh at yourself. Laugh
Yes.
at yourself. Everything is not so serious that you need to lose nails and hair and health for it. I mean, it's not that big a deal. Life goes on, and God sends us more days by the grace of God, and we just be thankful. We're thankful, and if you can share that with other people, share it with other people. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And so, with that being said, I mean, and please take this seriously, is that we have a lot of good work to do. A lot of good work to do. And there are quite a few people that need your presence. They need your impact. They need what you bring to them. And, and even as we're speaking, the ideas about your business, what you want to see happen, where you're coming from and where you're going, is revealing itself. It's revealing itself. And even if you're working hard, if you're really working hard, even in your sleep, you're thinking about how can I get better? How can I get better? How can I improve? This is what you want. This is who you are. This is what we can be. This is what you can do. So this is what we will deliver on. And so, with that being said, it's an amazing time, and you're in the right place at the right time, and you're the right focus, and we are holding on to the most important things we need to hold on to. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Yeah, yeah.
And don't forget that you are discovered on Brightside, the
Right.
video podcast. Make
Mhm.
sure you hit the subscribe button
Uh-huh.
and tell us all about it, and tell us about your story of the past into the future.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching our Empower Leadership series. Thank you.